Hey guys, welcome to eBike Reviews and Adventures. Today we're taking a look at the beautiful Mokwheel Scoria. I'm going to show you all its features. We're going to talk about some specs. We're going to go for a ride. I'm going to tell you the things I don't care for, so stick around. All right guys, first we're going to start right up here with the tires. These are Kenda 20x4 fat tires. They got some nice tread pattern on them. Can't see it too well in the camera. There we go, that's better, because I have it all dirty. Been riding this thing off-road. And we got some really nice rims on this bike. This is one of the coolest features about this bike. These are spokeless rims, and they just really add to the style of what's going on with this bike right here. I think it just adds a lot of character. We do have Tektro hydraulic disc brakes on the front, so those are nice right there. We do have Overlord hydraulic forks that helps with those bumps. Moving around the front here, we do have an LED light with a reflector. I do have the optional basket installed on the front of this bike already. Moving up here, let's take a look at the wiring. So this wiring is wrapped pretty well. They did a pretty good job of cable management here. I got some loosey-goosey right there. But I really like that you follow this around and it's integrated into the bike. Now, since we're here looking at the frame, let's go ahead and take a closer look. And if you notice, there's not a lot of weld joints. They have sanded this smooth. There's just a couple right back here, right back there. But even those weld joints look real nice on this bike. Now back here in the back, we do have a 750 watt motor. And I tell you what, this thing's got 90 Newton meters of torque. This is one of the higher torqued motors that I have come across. And when I say it's got 90 Newton meters of torque, you feel it. You can get this pony kicking. Power in that motor is a whopping 19.6 amp hour battery, and it fits nicely up underneath the frame right here. Got some dirt on there. As you can see, I've been riding this off-road. It is locked in with a key. And one of the cool things about this bike is not only do you have a charge port right here for charging it, but right over here you have an initial plug. And inside that plug is so you can connect the inverter. You can get an optional inverter that allows you to use the bicycle battery to power small appliances and things of that nature if you're out backpacking or camping. Okay, something to know with the combination of that motor and this battery, this bike, the top speed is 24 miles per hour. And that was on a flat surface, hauling my body weight of 240 pounds. Now the website does say top speed is 22. That cannot be unlocked. That's as far as this bike goes. And a lot of that has to do with, I believe, the motor, because the motor is still 750 watts, but it's torqued. It's got a lot of torque. So you got a lot of torque instead of speed, which is kind of how this works. You either get speed or you get power. And in this case, they elected to give it a little more power because it is considered a cargo bike. Now let's mention that for a minute, because you do have this integrated rack back here, and you can haul a lot of cargo on this bike between that and the basket up front. The total cargo capacity of this bike is 400 pounds. I call this a dual purpose bike because you don't have to use it for hauling cargo. It's a great fat tire commuter bike. It's a great bike for riding off trail on light trails. So in my opinion, this is just an all around fantastic bike. Anyone who is about 4'8" or so up to 6'1", 6'2", can ride this bike. Now I'm 6'1" and I can ride this bike just fine. I will be adding a slightly longer seat post to raise me up just a little bit further when riding, but even at 6'1", it's a comfortable ride. So let's talk about this saddle right here. It is a pretty firm saddle like most e-bikes are, so I would plan on swapping that out for something a little more cushy on your tushy. It does have a quick adjustment seat post right there. Nice for multiple riders because you can quickly adjust the height. So let's go ahead and talk about this kickstand for a minute right here, because they do have the double kickstand on here. It's got its pros and its cons, but having a double kickstand on there helps keep your cargo from shifting because the bike is leaning over. So when you have a lot of cargo on this bike, you don't want it leaning over. And as you can see, right now it stands upright. Let's go over here and take a closer look at the chain ring. It is a double chain ring, which is really good to have. We do have the derailleur. This is a Shimano derailleur. No derailleur guard on this bike. Kind of wish they had that. But nonetheless, nice setup there. Now let's jump up here and take a look at the cockpit area. Now I do have the optional mirror already attached on here. There's not a lot of room to attach a mirror on the right side, so we don't have that. These handle grips are leather wrapped, and they're okay. They're not bad. I might change those out sometime in the future. They're not too bad though. There's our button pad that controls our LED display. Moving over, we do have a really nice color LED display. We'll get into more of that a little bit later. And we have the 7-speed Shimano thumb shifter. And we do have a half throttle twist. This bike does have integrated lights, which you activate with the top button up here, including the tail light. You have a brake light when you squeeze the brakes. And it does have a horn, and the horn button is right underneath the thumb pad right there. Now when you buy this bike off the website, it does come included with the Mokwheel rack with the wood inlay there, and it does come with full fenders on both the front and the back. The front basket, as I mentioned, is optional, as well as that mirror. Okay, let's take a closer look at the display right here. And you can see that it's a color display and it looks real nice. I can see it better in the daylight rather than what you might be able to see here on the camera. But nonetheless, you know, it's nice. It's a real nice display. It got all the information you might need on here. It does, this right here, this bar graph is the battery. Kind of tells you how much battery life you have left. I wish it was a percentage, but you know, it's okay. It's a visual. We got the trip miles right here. We have the pass setting, and then we have the time in minutes. Now that's just, you know, I haven't figured out really what that is tracking. It's not the overall time, I'll tell you that. It's not your trip time, so it doesn't make any sense. Now this bike does have 5 pedal assist settings, and you cannot adjust these pedal assist settings in the menu. Unfortunately, like you can on some bikes, it doesn't allow you to go in there and make any adjustments to the overall speed of each one. What you can do though is when you get into the, let's just go ahead and jump in there. We're going to push on all 3 of these buttons right here, hold down, and we're going to go ahead and get into the menu, and I'll show you a couple of things in here. First of all, right there, the speed limit. When we select that right there, this is where, and it doesn't go 50, this is where you can adjust it. When you get the bike, it's going to be set for 20, and just using the up and down arrow keys on your pad here, you can adjust it. And I had it up there, like most bikes, you can go, class 3 bikes can go 28 miles an hour. I set it for that. But again, this top speed of this bike is only 24. Well, let's get out of this menu. Now let's go down here a little bit here, go through these a little bit. Most of these here you don't want to mess with because it could damage your bike. Don't be messing with the voltage. Don't be messing with the wheel diameter. That is set at the factory for what it needs to be. We're going to go down to the next menu up here, riding modes, intensity. That's what I want to talk about. So this is an important setting for most folks right here. You can go in here and set the overall intensity of the bike. Now when you get this bike, I believe it was set on 3. Which means this kind of controls the overall, torque and speed of the bike when you hit the throttle, how quickly it takes off and goes. And for some people, they find that it's pretty aggressive. They say, hey, this bike is really aggressive and it's really too much for me. Well, go in here and change your, and we timed out, so let's go back in there. All you got to do is go in here and change your intensity setting and drop it down. Go ahead and drop it down to maybe instead of the 3 that it came with, go ahead and drop it down to 1. There's 2, there's 1, and then try it that way. For me, I like an aggressive ride, so I've got it kicked up here to 5, and that's where I keep it. And I'll tell you something, guys. When you hit the throttle on this thing, it kicks. I mean, it kicks a bit like a pony. And I think I could probably stand this up on the rear wheel without too much effort at all. When you hit the throttle. It's just impressive how much power this thing's got. So another nice feature about this bike overall is you can ride in throttle only. So you can just grab that throttle right from the start and kick up and go. Whereas there are some models out there, they've got the bike designed so you have to pedal to kind of get it started. And I don't care for those bikes too much. I like to be able to, if I want to just go throttle only and take a nice leisure easy ride, I can do that. This feature I think is great for anyone with maybe some disabilities or someone who maybe you're a senior and you're thinking about getting a bike so you have better mobility. That's a nice feature to have because you don't have to pedal at all. You don't have to switch gears over here at all. In fact, you can see I leave mine in 7 all the time because I don't use it. Once I get going, if I want to pedal, then I just pedal along and it's nice and easy. I don't have to switch gears. So let me just say right here that this is quickly becoming one of my favorite bikes of all the bikes that I've tested or ridden. This is quickly becoming one of my favorites because it's a little smaller than my Basalt, which is a pretty big beast of a bike. And I find that this is my go-to when I take a quick ride or something. I just grab on this one because it's easy on and off. I like the power and the torque, and I just like how it looks. Now, having said all that, there are a few things I don't care for, so let's talk about those for a quick second. The kickstand down here, although it is nice, and I explained its features, if you're in the garage, like I store these in the garage, and my garage is kind of crowded, and so I oftentimes have to move things around, and when I'm trying to move things around, I can't just grab this bike and kind of lean it off its kickstand and roll it and move it around, because it's up there on that double kickstand. So I either have to pick up the bike to move it, or I have to rock it forward to take it off that kickstand just to move it a few feet and then put it back. Now, if you're a small person, that could be a problem for you because, this is an 80-pound bike, and every time you want to hop off real quick, you got to roll it forward and get it up on that kickstand, and it's just not real convenient. However, let me tell you this, guys, you can buy an aftermarket kickstand for about $20, and you can mount it right here on the side. And I'm going to do that. I'm not even going to take this one off. I'm going to keep this one, but I'm going to add a second kickstand just for when I'm in the garage messing around, or if I'm just hopping off the bike real quick, I can use the back kickstand. If ever I am carrying a lot of cargo, which we plan to do on this bike, and we got stuff loaded up here and we don't want it tipped over, then I'll use that double kickstand. Okay, another thing I don't care for so much, and that is the wood grain that, this wood that they have on the rack. On the back rack, and also the wood that they have up here in the basket, I'm just not a fan. It kind of reminds me of the 1970s station wagons with the wood grain siding. My parents had one of those when I was growing up, and just don't care for wood on my vehicles. I don't know, that's just me. Let me know what you think. Is that, do you like that style? Do you care for that? Does it not matter to you? To me, it matters. So I'm going to be making some adjustments here. I don't know if I'll change out the baskets, probably not. What I'll probably do is just take that wood off, paint it black or something, and then put it back on there. Okay, another thing I don't care for, and I already mentioned, is the seat. It's very firm. I've already got another seat picked out I'll be putting on here, just because, yeah, it's just a firm seat. Don't need it. I wished I had the capability of putting another mirror on the right side over here. I can if I want to get the mirrors that screw into the end of the handlebars. I may end up doing that. You may notice in our videos when we're riding, but another thing I don't care for so much is this motor is a little bit louder than the one that's on the Basalt. You know, coming from the same company, you think maybe they'd use the same motor, and they didn't, because this one has more torque, which is nice, but also this motor is just a little bit louder than the Basalt. It's not so loud that it is distracting by any means. It's just something noticeable. Another thing I don't care for, let's talk about this rack back here, and that is if you want to put a pannier bag on here, there's no holes for you to be able to take the straps and loop it through. There's no way to attach a pannier bag. You have to make the strap reach to down here or even down here, and then it's going to slide. It would have been nice if they had put some holes in the surface here so you could have put your straps on your pannier bag through there. But that's something I can add. I mean, I can cut holes in there if I wanted to. Another thing I don't care for, and I already mentioned it, and that is the pedal assist settings. I wish there was an option to go ahead and change the pedal assist setting so you can adjust each one. Because I do like to take this off-road. I do have some trails I like to ride that are single track trails. They're real narrow, they're a little bumpy, they're real windy and twisty, and so you have to go slow on them. And you know, what I find in pedal assist 1, I'm constantly, you know, riding the brakes, giving it a little bit of juice, hitting the brake, giving it a little juice, hitting the brake, because pedal assist 1 is just a little too fast for that. So I wished I could go in there and adjust pedal assist 1 and be able to drop it down to, you know, maybe 5 miles an hour or something, kind of slow, but that's just not an option. Hey guys, so overall, the things that I don't care for about this bike are really small and minor. They're kind of nitpicky, right? And some of them you can easily adjust or change on your own, so it's not that big of a deal. So is this something you should consider? Absolutely. I purchased this one with my own money after doing a lot of research online, looking for a step-through cargo style bike. And I tell you what, we're going to be releasing another video here soon, kind of comparing them with some of the other options that are available out there in the marketplace. But what Mokwheel has done with the accessories that they've added, with the features that this bike has, it really blows the competition out of the water. I think they've done a great job of it. And at the price point of about $2,000, it just can't be beat. So I encourage you to take a closer look at it. There will be links down below. They're not affiliate links. I'm not affiliated with Mokwheel. They don't even know that I exist. So hey guys, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you're new here, make sure you subscribe and stick around, because I'll be releasing a lot more videos here real soon. If you have any questions, drop them down below. I'll be happy to answer those, and I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. And until the next video drops, ride safe.